Hello everyone, this is class 23 on income tax for BCom 5th semester students. In today's class, we are going to solve one more 15 mark sum on incidence of tax and residential status. Let us read the sum once. Compute the gross total income of Mr. Murthy from the following particulars if he is ordinary resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. You are given information about salary rupees 1,20,000 credited to his account in London for his services in Bombay. Here salary no doubt is credited to London, but the services are rendered in Bombay, that is in Mumbai. The base is in India, therefore, first point, that is salary of rupees 1 lakh is treated as Indian income and not foreign income. So all of you make marking here, first point is Indian income. And if it is Indian income, it is taxable to everyone, that is ordinary resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. The second point is income from building in Gujarat. Income from building in Gujarat in India, therefore it is Indian income. As it is Indian income, taxable to all the three columns, that is ordinarily resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. So make the marking here that even the second point is Indian income. Coming to third point, income from house property in India received in UK. Income from house property, that is the base of income is in India, therefore it is Indian income. Where it is received, it is immaterial because the base that we have found is in India and it becomes Indian income. Indian income are taxable to all, ordinary, not ordinary and non-resident. Fourth, dividend from domestic company rupees 30,000. Dividend from any Indian company, domestic company in the sense Indian company, and the dividend received from Indian company is exempted from tax. So this fourth point is exempted income. Fifth point, income from business in Mysore but controlled from Japan. Income from business in Mysore, that is India, from where it is controlled, it is immaterial as we have got the base in India, it is Indian income. Indian income is taxable to all, that is ordinary, not ordinary and non-resident. Therefore, fifth is also a Indian income. Next, sixth point, income from agriculture in USA rupees 80,000, half of which is credited to his account in Bombay. Here, income from agriculture in USA, it is a foreign income, but half is credited to his account in Bombay. That means half is agriculture, half is Indian income and half agricultural income is foreign income. Therefore, income from agriculture in USA 80,000, half of this is 40,000 which is treated as Indian income. Remaining half which is received in USA itself, which is treated as foreign income, taxable only to one column. 40,000 rupees are taxable in all the three columns because it is treated as Indian income. Remaining half is considered as foreign income and taxable only in one column. Next, received rupees 40,000 as his share of income from Hindu undivided family, of which he is a co-partner. Any share of income received from Hindu undivided family is exempted from tax. In next class, I am going to provide you the list of the income which are exempted one. Okay, so when you get the list of all the incomes that are to be treated as exempted, it will be clear for you which all incomes to be taken while computing gross total income and which are to be considered as exempted income. So next class I will be providing you list of all the exempted incomes and then we are going to solve a sum. Next, rent from house property in Denmark. Rent from house property in foreign country is a foreign income and taxable only in one hand, that is to ordinarily resident. Next is income from business in Japan and deposited in a bank there. So this is a foreign income, but the business being controlled from India, 30,000. Business is controlled from India, rupees 30,000. Foreign income, but the business is controlled from India, therefore it is taxable in two columns, that is to ordinarily resident and not ordinarily resident. After reading and discussing this sum, we got to know that which all incomes are to be considered as Indian income, what all to be considered as foreign income, and exempted income. Past untaxed foreign income is not given in the sum. So as per our understanding, let us start solving the sum. So first Indian income is salary of rupees 1,20,000. You are taking the amount salary of rupees 1,20,000 is Indian income, which is to be taken in all the three columns. Take down 1,20,000 in all the columns. After this, next Indian income is the second point. Income from building in Gujarat. So income from building in Gujarat is also taken in Indian income column. That is the second point. Income from building in Gujarat, and it amounts to 50,000 rupees. So take down 50,000 in all the columns. Next is third point, income from house property in India. In question, third point is income from house property in India received in UK. Where it is received, it is immaterial as the base is in India. So income from house property in India, take down as Indian income. Amount is rupees 20,000. Take down 20,000 in all the columns. Next is income from business in Mysore. Income from business in Mysore is fifth point. Take down this also as Indian income. Income from business in Mysore is 40,000. Coming to next, income from agriculture in USA, half is received in India. Sixth point in the sum, income from agriculture in USA, 80,000, half is received or credited to his account in Bombay. Therefore, half is treated as Indian income, half is treated as foreign income. So, out of 80,000, 40,000 is Indian income, and Indian income is taken in all the columns. Take down 40,000 and remaining 40,000 rupees is treated as foreign income, that is income from agriculture in USA, half received in India means half received in USA. Foreign income, income from agriculture in USA, 40,000 is taken only in one column as it is a foreign income. We are done with all the Indian incomes. Now next is check out which is a foreign income. Next is income from business in Japan, but it is controlled from India. Last point in the sum, income from business in Japan and deposited in a bank there, but the business is being controlled from India. Therefore, though it is a foreign income, we have to take it in two columns because it is controlled from India. And it amounts to rupees 30,000. So take down 30,000 in all the columns. Check out which is next foreign income. Rent from house property in Denmark. 8th point in the sum. Rent from house property in Denmark amounts to rupees 80,000. Rent from house property in $80,000, which is taken only in one column as it is a foreign income. Which is next? I think we are done with all the points. Point number 4, dividend from domestic company 30,000. So this we have to take it in exempted income column, dividend from domestic company. And we are not taking any amount here as it is exempted income. So amount column is nil. Coming to next point, received 40,000 rupees. 7th point in the sum, received 40,000 as a share of income from HUF, of which he is a co-partner. So even this is a exempted income. Share of income from HUF is also exempted from tax. Therefore, amount would be nil. last, fourth one is past untaxed foreign income. It is not given in the sum. Therefore, even this amount is nil. Even if you are given past untaxed foreign income in the sum, we are not considering it while computing gross total income. So now, next part is find out total to ordinarily resident, and when we total it, we get total amount of 4,20,000 in the column of ordinarily resident. Not ordinarily resident, we get total of 3 lakh, and in non-resident column, we get total of 2,70,000. So gross total income of Mr. Murthy for the assessment year 2021 are 4,23,00,000 lakh and 2,70,000. Now, one important thing is after you solve the sum, make sure that you are writing a note for your solution. Now, what note can we write here? First note, that is dividend from an Indian company is exempted from tax. And second note that we can write is even share of income from HUF is exempted from tax. Share of income from Hindu undivided family is exempted from tax. So today we have solved one more sum on incidence of tax and residential status. Next class will be solving case studies on incidence of tax and residential status.